At a very early age, 9 years of age, you lose your dad. Tell me about that night.
Yeah, that was a night to remember, or maybe not to forget. I still, to this day, remember the feeling, even though I was, young. I had just asked my mother before I went to sleep when my father was going to be home. He was a cameraman for CBS and was covering the Democratic National Convention in Miami. And it was the middle of the night. I heard her voice screaming, "No, no," and I wasn't sure what that meant, but I do remember distinctly being woken by that sound. And as I look back now, I think it was more of a haze. I don't remember a lot of my footsteps, but I do remember being on the stairs, looking down and seeing a priest from our church and a local policeman at our house, because they knew our family. We had a large family. There was 8 of us, and my mother was 40 years old with 8 children. But that night was one of those nights where it's a foggy, it's more sounds and then some images, and then people coming to me asking me, do you know what happened here? Like, do you understand? And there seemed to be a concern that we fully were absorbing like the magnitude of what just happened. But what I definitely remember distinctly saying and thinking and saying is that this is going to change everything.
What's the year, Bill?
1972.
1972, a mom with 8 children loses her husband to a freak accident.
The challenge was that when he died, there was a gentleman that was poolside where he had this accident and drowned in the pool that was actually reading the paper while he was drowning. So, and I always tell that story it must have been incredible for that gentleman to have to live with that. Of course, it took me a while to let that go because I thought, hey, if he hadn't been reading the paper, maybe he could have saved my father.
Right.
But when I look back as more of an adult at that experience for him, Chad, he likely, ruined his life, knowing that he was just turning pages, in an empty pool where my father was just happened to be swimming and suffered some kind of heart attack and drowned.
How did you and the family move forward?
Life before and with my father was very different than without him, because it had to be. My siblings, of which, all 8 of us now, many of them went to work, transferred home while they were taking college classes. My older sister came home from school and finished her degree as opposed to living away. My one brother went to work, my other brothers went to work and worked on their schooling or finished schooling. There was a lot of, sense of what do we do now? And so that unsettling, that discomfort and that sort of abnormality became the norm. And my family really chipped in and came together as a family. My uncles, my cousins, the community, the church. So it was a tremendous effort. I think people wanted us to be successful. My mother has a big family as well, and they were tremendously supportive of trying to keep us together.